Please don't joke with me." The words tumbled out of his mouth, trembling, desperate, raw. A poor single dad, standing in disbelief before the woman the world called untouchable, the millionaire CEO. The crowded hall froze, eyes darting from him to her, waiting for the cruel punchline. But what came next wasn't laughter. It was something so shocking it would change both their lives forever. The story begins on an ordinary morning for Armin, a single father who worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table for his 6-year-old daughter, Hannah. He lived in a cramped, rented apartment with peeling paint and a broken stove. But to Hania, it was a castle, because her father's love filled every corner. He had lost his wife years ago to illness, and since then, his world revolved around giving Hannah a childhood filled with joy, even when money was short. That morning, while tying her shoelaces, Hannah asked him a question that cut deeper than any hardship. "Baba, why don't we have a mama like other kids?" He kissed her forehead, smiled through his pain, and promised her that one day everything would be better. Fate had its own plans. Later that day, while delivering food as part of his night shift, Armin was called to a grand corporate event. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, golden cutlery, and men in black suits who spoke in polished English about investments and luxury. Among them was the woman everyone whispered about, Mirya Havi, the young CEO who had inherited her father's empire and multiplied it through sheer brilliance. Her presence commanded respect. Her beauty was intimidating, not because of perfection, but because of the fire in her eyes. Armin, nervous and exhausted, kept his head down while serving tables. But destiny doesn't allow love stories to hide in corners. When Hannah, who had secretly followed her father into the building, tripped and nearly fell near the stage, it was Mira herself who rushed forward and caught her. The sight stunned everyone. The Ice Queen CEO, kneeling, smiling warmly at a child who clearly didn't belong to this world of wealth. "Where's your father?" Mira asked gently. Hannah pointed at Armin, who froze, his tray trembling in his hands. For the first time, Mira's eyes softened as she looked at him, not with pity, but with something he had never seen before, recognition. Days passed, but Mira couldn't forget the little girl or the father behind her. She learned about Armin quietly, discovering his struggles, his sacrifices, and his strength. Unlike the men who surrounded her for money and power, here was someone who gave everything and asked for nothing. Against all rules of society and her own carefully built walls, Mira began reaching out, dropping by at the small food stall he worked in, offering Hannah small gifts, asking Armin questions about his life. At first, he was defensive, convinced she pitied him, but the truth was different. Mira admired him, even envied his simple yet profound love for his daughter, something she had never known growing up in a mansion of glass and gold. But the world wasn't kind. Rumors spread quickly. The untouchable CEO was spending time with a poor delivery man. Business partners mocked, employees whispered, and media cameras hunted them. Armin wanted to run, to shield Hannah from the cruelty of gossip, but Mira refused to let him. "They don't get to decide my life," she said one evening, standing in the rain outside his tiny home. "I do." Armin's heart wavered, but his fear was greater, fear that she was playing a cruel game, that her world and his could never truly meet it. All came to a head at another grand event weeks later. Mira arrived with Armin and Hannah by her side, shocking the crowd. Gasps echoed, cameras flashed, and someone sneered loud enough for everyone to hear. "Is this a charity project, Mira? A poor single dad for the richest woman in the city?" Armin's face burned, his hands trembling. He pulled away, his voice cracking. "Please don't joke with me. I can't let you destroy us just for a moment of fun." His words stabbed the silence, his pain visible to all. But Mira didn't laugh. She didn't deny it. Instead, she stepped forward, her voice firm yet filled with emotion. "This man is not my joke. He is my choice. And if you can't understand that love matters more than money, then you don't deserve to be in this room." The crowd fell silent, stunned. Armin looked at her breathless, as the tears in her eyes proved she was serious. In that moment, the walls around his heart finally broke. He saw not a millionaire CEO, but a woman who had chosen him not despite his struggles, but because of them. She wanted his world, his truth, his love, and she wanted to give Hannah the mother she had longed for. And so, the poor single dad and the millionaire CEO walked hand in hand into a future no one had imagined. Their story wasn't about wealth meeting poverty, but about love defeating fear and courage silencing doubt. The end. What remained wasn't the laughter of skeptics or the whispers of the rich. It was the image of a little girl smiling, holding her father's hand on one side and her mother's on the other, finally complete. Because love, when it's true, doesn't care about the size of your pocket. It only cares about the size of your heart.